Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you all the cutting and stitching for this beautiful dress. In my previous video I shared with you all the pattern drafting for this dress, so if you haven't seen that, definitely check it out before watching this video. So guys, let's get into this video. This is the fabric we are using and it is a cotton fabric. Now the interesting thing about this fabric is that it is a pattern fabric. I will show you what I mean by a pattern fabric. As you can see, when you open up the fabric, you can see it has two kinds of design: the conjoined flower design and the scattered flower design, which you can see when you bring it more closer. You can see the scattered flower design. So now I'm just going to tell you what we are going to do, and you can see the conjoined flower at the end as well. So now how we are going to work with this fabric is that we want to ensure that this design comes out looking very beautiful, because if you handle it anywhere anyhow, it's going to come out looking very funny. So for me to cut and separate this fabric, I am going to follow these leaves that has a light green and dark green in it, where my hand is pointing. These leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we are going to just follow it like that continuously and keep going till we get to the end. So now you can see what we have. We've separated the first conjoined flower from the cotton flower. Now we are going to cut the lower part as well, the second conjoined flower, and we are going to start our cutting from these dominant pink large flowers. We're going to cut through those dominant pink large flowers, and you will notice that this one is going to be shorter than the one we've cut before. So I'm done cutting. This part I'm going to use it to make the bustier, and then these scattered ones I'm going to use them for the flare, and the other one will be for the lower part. To work with this part of the fabric, I'm going to cut off that plain navy blue part of the design. As you can see, this plain navy blue part, I'm going to chop it off so that I have just pure conjoined flowers everywhere. So I'll later show you all what I'll use this plain fabric to do, but now let's cut the bustier pattern. To cut out the pattern, I ensure that this side that is more conjoined is at the upper part, and the less conjoined and scattered ones are at the lower part, so that they can mix up with the ones that are scattered when I do the flare. So now I'm just going to place the bustier pattern on this fabric and then use it to cut it off. So I'm not cutting out the fabric. I cut the fabric and the lining, and I also made notches at the zipper side. So now one thing you will notice is that I didn't put an allowance, a seam allowance at this place where my hand is going. That is because I took 2-inch sewing allowance at the side. So when I want to join the sides, I will join with only 1.5 inch. So now I'll place the side front, the center back, and the side back together, and I'll show you what I want to do. On the side front, I'm going to come up by 1/2 inch as you see me do, and then I'm going to make a little curve by the side. This is to prevent any form of lagging or dropping on the side of the dress when we are done making. We're going to make the same marking for the center back, but that will be when we are about to join the up to the down, as you will see. So we'll just do this for the other side, that is the side back. For the center back, we are going to go the way my hand is going when we want to cut it. So these are all the patterns for the upper side of the clothes that we are going to make use of. These are the fabric and the lining as I've cut. Now this fabric I'm working with is a very soft cotton, and because of this it is very lightweighted. So I'm going to iron hairstay to it to give it a little weight. So I'm done ironing hairstay to all of them. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to stitch the darts. To stitch up the dart, I have placed the center front and the side front side by side to each other. Now I'm going to use one part of the side front and place it on top of the center front. Just watch the way I'm using my hand to arrange them and pin them. That's exactly how you arrange and pin them together from top to bottom. So you are going to stitch like so with half an inch, and you will do that for both sides. So now let's join the darts for the back side. Please make sure to pay attention to your pattern. If you are making use of a fabric that has designs, make sure you pay attention to those designs so that the dress will come out well, as you can see me do. We'll arrange the center back like so, and then arrange the side back to each side of the center back. Now we will turn over with one part of the side back to the center back and then hold it with a pin. Then from that line that we have held with a pin, we are going to go and stitch up by half an inch sewing allowance. After stitching the dart, we are going to iron out between the stitches like so and make sure everything is flat. Remember that all the stitching you are doing for the original fabric, you're doing it for the lining as well, in case if you're using a lining for this dress. So I'm done with stitching the darts and ironing. You can see how neat and nice it looks. Now we are going to attach bra cups. To attach bra cups, we are going to be working with the lining. So now you see this line, we're going to make it more visible by ironing on it. Can you see that it is now visible for us to work with? Now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to take, you know that our neckline at the beginning was 7.5 and our bust point plus half inch sewing allowance is 10.5. So we are going to remove that 7.5 now when we place the tape, and then mark at 10.5 on the lining. We will repeat the same on that ironed line. And then repeat the same thing on the other side of the bust. On that marking I made on the iron line, we will take half inch on both sides. So I'll go ahead and remove the stitching allowance on the sides, which is 1.5. Remember I said I am going to be joining the sides by 1.5 because I didn't take any allowance when I was cutting out the pattern. So that half an inch, instead of 2 inches, it is 1.5 because I have used half an inch to make up for that half an inch deficient I didn't take. At the top you will come down by 1.5 inch on both sides. And I forgot to say something, that when you take the bust point, please also take the under bust point as well, the under bust measurement as well. So as you can see here, I'm taking the under bust measurements. This is where our bra cup is going to sit. Now place the bra cup on top of that line where the under bust measurement is being marked, and let it not exceed that half inch at that middle as you're watching my hand go. So now you're going to make sure that within the bra cup you put in excess clothes. You're going to be pushing in clothes little by little until you make sure that there is enough space covering the inside, and then you start pinning up with a pin. So just watch how I'm using my hand to nicely arrange and push the fabric into the bra cup such that it sits very well. Can you see how nicely the fabric fits into the bra cup such that when you wear it, you won't have any difficulties? Now, the reason I'm using a bra cup for this dress is because we are dealing with a dress that has straps. So there is no need for you to wear a bra. That's the reason the bra cup is there. So just watch how I am stitching the bra cup to the lining. So I'm done stitching the bra cups to the lining. So now I want to remove that side I told you I'll remove. So I'll go up by half an inch and then I'm going to make a little curve. So from there where I made a little curve, that's where I'm going to cut from. The lines, the broken lines you see are the zipper allowance. That is half an inch zipper allowance. So I'm just marking out the 1.5 inch sewing allowance for each size of both the front and the back. So I'm going to turn over to make sure the right side of the back is facing each other and they are into each other, as you can see. Then the right side of the front will be placed on the right side. Then you would pin them up line to line. That is those places that I've marked at the allowance from. That is where you're going to pin them up. Mind you, you do the same for both fabric and lining and then stitch up. So I'm done stitching the sides, and as you can see, it is so good looking, and I have also gone ahead to overlock them, as you can see. So I'm just going to iron it out. Now watch what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to mark that notch I made at the zipper. Then I'm going to take 1 inch away from it, as you see me do. Then I'm going to mark it. I'm going to repeat the same for the other side as well. I'm going to take the measurement from that 1 inch mark I made now to the other 1 inch mark I made, and what we are going to get there is 28 inches. Do you still remember this border I cut out at the beginning? Now we are going to make good use of it. I've gone ahead to cut out a border of 4.5 inches width and 29 inches long, and we will keep this aside for now. So now we are going to take the measurement of this dress that we are stitching from the down part. We will start from the center. So we will start measuring from the allowance parts, from one allowance end to the other allowance end, and we will do the same for the side as well. This will help us to know how to cut the down part. At the top part, we are marking our tummy measurement times 2 divided by 2. That's what we are marking here. So my tummy measurement for what I got there was 18. Half of it is 18. Then times 2 is what I'm marking. That's almost 36. Please remember that my tummy measurement is that down part that I had measured before, and I took the center before the side. So that center is what is 18. Times 2 of it is around 36. So that is exactly what I'm doing. So back to this, we are going to make a little curve, like as if we are making a flare. Just watch what I'm doing. Like as if we are making a flare, we are going to continue like this. So we would also use the front part to cut the back side as well. So I've gone ahead to cut 4 pieces of fabrics of 29 inches long, 4 inches width. This is for the straps of the dress. Then we will sew from this end all the way and stop here, but we will not close the other parts. That's what we are going to follow to bring it out. So I'm done stitching them and ironing them. This is what we have, 4 straps. Now we are going to bring this other fabric we had kept aside, and we are going to iron hairstay to it. So here it is. Now I'm going to turn it over and give it a very good press. So this size I'm holding with a pin are the places that you will stitch without closing the up, as you can see. So I'm done stitching. Now I'm going to attach it to the dress. You place these plain border straps on top of this fabric from that 1 inch line I marked then to the other end. To insert the 4 straps, you're going to bend one of the straps and then iron it out in order to bring out a line. You're going to now place this line that is visible on the strap on top of that dart, that front dart, where the center front and the side front are meeting. Just watch what I'm doing and you will understand. You will do the same thing you did for the first strap for the second strap as well, placing it in between the place where the dart of the side back and the center back is. So we're done placing them. Now we're going to stitch. After stitching, we are going to use the lining to turn over. I'm just going to show you how we are going to place the lining. This is exactly how we are going to place the lining. We are going to use it to turn over in order to tuck in everything neat and nice. So for the down part, I have cut both the fabric and the lining. Now I'll take one part of the back and I'll place it on top of the center, and then I'm going to stitch it as my hand is going. I'll repeat the same for the other side as well, same as the lining. So I'm done stitching and I've overlocked as well. Now I'm going to use this embroidery thread to make what is called a tiny weaving all through the upper part of this lower side of the dress. So I'm done. This is what is called the tiny weaving. Can you see that this type of weaving is different from the one I did inside? So this type of weaving is called the tiny weaving. Now I'm going to gather all through till I get the exact measurement of my tummy circumference, which is 30. So I'm done gathering. As you can see, it looks so beautiful. Now I'm going to attach this to the upper part of the dress. This is the upper part, and as you can see, I'm done stitching and adding everything I needed to add. Then I also overlocked down, as you can see. So now I'm just going to attach that gathered down part of the dress to this upper part. So I'm done attaching the upper part to the lower part. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Now I'm just going to go ahead and attach the zip. So I'm done attaching the zip. Now I'm just going to go ahead and attach the lower part, which is that other border that I had cut at the beginning. I have also tiny weaved it with the same embroidery thread. So now I'm just going to add it to the lower part. I will gather, then add it to the lower part. So I'm done with everything. I have gathered and I have attached the lower part to it. You can see how beautiful this dress is, and yeah, I love everything about it. It's so beautiful, it's so cottagecore, and it is just so lovely. So that's all for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.